Welcome to 6 Minute Hump Day, where we help entrepreneurs get through their busy week with a dash of inspiration, motivation, and a touch of education.
Welcome to episode number 24 of the Jeff Knows Inc. show. I'm your host, Jeff Lopes. Today's our 6 Minute Hump Day, and we got a special guest.
Russell Leeds from the UK. Russell runs a podcast and a business called Entrepreneurial Blueprint, and Russell's going to give us a little insight on that. Hey, Russell, how are you, buddy?
Hey, I'm really good. Thank you. Thanks for having me on.
So your Entrepreneurial Blueprint, give a little rundown what it is and how people could benefit from it.
Yeah, sure. So the Entrepreneur's Blueprint is the book that I wrote, that I released earlier this year, which basically is just the steps that I've taken for my business, my original business, that I've then done again and again for other businesses. And the key thing really for me is how to go from someone who's like a solopreneur, so someone who's doing everything themselves. Because so many people, you probably heard the saying, you probably heard people say things like, oh, if you want a job done, you got to do it yourself. Like, I hate that saying. I hate when I hear people say that. Someone that used to work for me used to say that. I'd be like, dude, never say that. I don't want to hear you say that ever, because that means that you're limiting what you can achieve because you've got to do everything yourself. So I'm a massive believer in building a team. If you want to grow a business, you need to build a team. And you hear all the excuses why people don't want to do it. All the excuses. People say things like, oh no, staff, the PAYE is expensive. What about if they go off on sick, or all employers' rights? Okay, fine. Don't hire any staff, but you'll never grow your business. You'll never grow because you're going to be stuck with you doing everything. What really sort of brought this home for me was one of my first businesses was a children's entertainment business. So just to give you a little bit of background, when I used to do a kids show for a kid's birthday party, I would make £200. They'd pay me to go in and do 2 hours work, and I could do maybe 4 parties over a weekend, right? So £200 times 4, you're looking at about 800 quid that I could make. What I did was I mapped out exactly what my show was, what the games were, everything I did, I mapped it out. And I trained other people, young people, 22, 23 years old, that wanted a part-time job on the week. I trained them how to do it, and I paid them half. So they would go and do the party. It means they could make like £50 an hour, which is still, really, really good for like a 20, 21-year-old or whatever. But then I make it half as well for not doing any of the work. So I can do 4 parties on my own. If I get 2 entertainers to come on board, I'm making just as much money as if I did everything myself, but I'm not having to go out and do any of the work. But then if you get other people to do it, you can then scale it. So if it's just you, then you're limited then. You're limited to your time. But if you can scale it, you can get other people on. Suddenly, we ended up with about 35, 36 entertainers. Suddenly, we're making way more money than I ever could have made doing it on my own. Why? Because you've got a team. But the same goes for everything. The same goes for your sales calls, for your whole business. My first goal, when I start off a new business, I'm thinking, right, number 1, how can I learn everything about this business and be really awesome at it? And then number 2, how can I immediately fire myself as fast as possible from all the roles and replace them with other people? And as long as you map it out, the only thing I would say you got to be careful of, and I've made this mistake as well myself, is where you think, oh, I don't really know much about accounts, I'll just hire someone to do that. Oh, I don't really know much about marketing, I'll just hire a marketing firm, and yeah, I'll systemize it, I'll pass it over to them. No, you need to know it, because no one cares about your business like you care about it. So you need to know exactly what you want them to do. Then you get them to do it. Don't just pass the buck. You've got to be involved. You just don't have to do the work. So, and that's how you build a passive income for a business. You can build a passive income. Go on.
Sorry, I love that you dived into that. One of my past podcasts, and I'm a strong believer, is I always say know your business. And I'm a strong believer, before you hire somebody, know every aspect of that person's job and focus on learning it. Because in a pandemic society like we're living right now, as a young entrepreneur or as a sole entrepreneur in a situation where you have no choice, your staff is gone because financial reasons. If you're not able to do all your little jobs, the business crashes. So knowing your business at the same time too, you're running a business, you put all your trust into one person or two people, and also that person leaves, they quit, they go to another job, they decide to start their own business. If you're not able to jump in and being able to focus on the job, I always tell everybody is, as an entrepreneur, is creating a one point thing I always say is creating an operational manual. As a business, every single job in your business have a step-by-step process, a simplified step-by-step process to doing that job. So all of a sudden, one staff decides he's gone, or they're a sick leave of absence or something. Another staff could grab that operations manual and step-by-step do their tasks just to get you by till you're doing. So I love that you dived into that. Is a huge part that a lot of young entrepreneurs don't do. That is, they don't know their business and they rely on other people with expertise to focus on certain tasks, and then shit hits the fan and they're like, whoa, what am I going to do now? They're stuck. So I love that part. That's a huge, I'm a huge believer in that.
No, well, you talk about manual. Literally today, all morning, I've been tweaking our manual. I'm using the time. That's what I've been doing today. Adding in new photos, adding in, reviewing it. I think I don't quite like that, changing it, because that's what your staff use. So yeah. So I can't remember where I was now, but I think I was saying, what was my last point? Where was I?
No, you're diving into knowing your business, and that's when I cut you off there.
Yeah, no, you were right to cut me off there. You had a really good point. You need to know it, because the thing is, if you don't know, it's like for me, I don't really know much about cars, right? So I go to the mechanic to get my car fixed, and I know that they could fleece me. They could be like, oh, it needs this, needs that. I don't know. I like cars, but I don't know how to fix them. I'm not very practical. But you don't want that in your business. I mean, it's one thing for your car. Yeah, it might cost you a couple of $100 extra or pounds or whatever. But if it's your business and you've got people in your business that are just dossing around and pretending that they're working or pretending they know what they're talking about, I mean, that's like catastrophic. So you need to you don't have to do it. You don't have to be brilliant at it, but you need to know everything. You need to, like you say, do a manual for every single department. And then you need to bring people in and a lot of people say, bring in good people. Just bring in good people. It is hard. I'm not going to lie. It is hard to bring good people. There's a lot of crap people out there that seem good at an interview. You need to, and again, another thing that they say is hire slow, fire fast. But in reality, again, that's hard. It's hard.
I never heard that one before.
Have you not?
No. I'm a strong believer in, doesn't matter if you have 2 employees or you're a billion-dollar industry and you have thousands of employees. Every single entrepreneur, every single business owner's biggest issue with running a business is always staffing.
Yeah.
Because it's always something that you could have good staff, but all you need is that one bad seed to ruin an office. So it's just, I like that saying, hire slow, fire fast. I've never heard that before. That's interesting.
Yeah, well, I remember I'm reading about Google because and their hiring process. Have you read that? I can't remember what it is now, right? But I think it's a book called Work Rules by Laszlo, someone or other, who worked at Google, and he talks about the Google hiring process, and it's like insane. I mean, we were at the time. I was thinking like, I literally do like one interview and then I hire them. I was like, they have like 5 in. But they used to have even more. It used to be like ridiculous, but their interview process is insane. And you need to do that. You need to really try and get to know. So one of the things I'm not brilliant at this. It is hard. It is hard. And I'm learning myself. But we do like 3 interviews. We do them in different places, different locations. So you can first interview, everyone's on their best behavior. Then you bring them back for a second interview, and you're just trying to get to know the real them, trying to find out. But you'll get it wrong sometimes. The key is when you realize they're no good, is you just need to get rid of them. I was chatting to Grant Cardone. He's one of my mentors. Do you like Grant Cardone? Are you a fan of Grant Cardone?
Yes.
Yeah. So he's one of the mentors I have, because I Zoom calls with him sometimes. And I had this problem. I was saying to him, and he was like, "Just fire them." I was like, "But they've been loyal," and he's like, "I don't care." He said, "When I'm on a journey, like, do I say, and the tire pops, do I go, oh, but the tire served me well for the last 10 years? No, I just replaced the damn tire." He's like, that's how your team is. That even the car, replace the car. I'm bothered about the journey. I'm not quite as ruthless as him, yeah. but I kind of feel that you need to be a little bit. You need to kind of look at it and be like, okay, if they're not up to scratch, some of the football team or whatever sport, hockey team,
Canada.
If you've got someone that's not performing, they get dropped out of the team. And I used to think your office, your work, it was like a family, but I don't think it is like a family, because with a family, you let people off with crap. If you got someone in your family who's a dickhead, you kind of just let them get away with it. So your office isn't. I don't think it is like a family. I think it's like a team, a team of people pulling in the same direction. And when my mind shifted from that, I used to it's like a family. No, it's not. It's like a team where we all have to perform. We've all got the same goal. We're all going for the same thing. But if someone's not performing, they get dropped out of the team, and that's kind of how I see it now.
That's a perfect way to end our 6-minute segue. I love that. You gave some good insight on that. I love that. I appreciate you coming on, Russell. This has been a great little 6-minute hump day and some education for our audience. Once again, thank you for your time, and peace out, brother.
Cheers. Thanks, Jeff. Take care.
That's a wrap for our 6-minute hump day this week. I want to thank our guest, Russell Leeds, for taking time out of his busy schedule to be a guest on our show. If you guys enjoy this episode, please, like always, tell your friends, tell your family, hit the subscribe button. We're trying to build something special here. Leave a review. 5 stars would be absolutely amazing. Until next week, guys, always move forward.